Yesterday we have seen different techniques of water harvesting and conservation. Today we will go through micro catchment water harvesting. Micro catchment water harvesting systems are designed to trap and collect runoff from a relatively small catchment area, usually 10 to 500 meters square within the farm boundary. So the area which is collected from a small area of 10 to 500 meters square is called as a micro catchment conservation of water. The runoff water is guided into an application area where it accumulates in holes, pits, basins and bunds. So water is made to be applied, or it is guided to be applied on a surface or the area where it is consisting of holes, pits and basins and bunds. It infiltrates into the soil and is used to grow plants. The collected water is stored in the root zone and supplies crops such as sorghum, millet, maize, shrubs, trees and fodder and crops. The main purpose is to store the water in the subsurface or the root zone level to feed the water to the crops. The ratio between the catchment area to the cultivated area can vary between 2 is to 1 or 10 is to 1. So the ratio at which the water is collected from an area to the area which can be cultivated is varies from 2 is to 1 to the 10 is to 1. If there is an area of 2 acres for as a catchment, then you can develop or you can grow or cultivate the area of 1 acre, and it ranges from 10 is to 1. The size of the catchment can be easily controlled by the farmer, which makes the system easy to adopt and replicate. So since the farmers can choose the area which can be cultivated or the area or the catchment area which they can collect the water or the runoff can be decided by them, and it is replicable, so they can develop and replicate the such schemes. And this micro water harvesting are small systems replicated many times with identical designs. Catchment and application areas are alternating within the same field, thus rainwater is concentrated on a confined surface where plants can grow. In comparison, micro water harvesting are much micro water harvesting are much larger systems with one catchment outside the cultivated area. In micro water harvesting system, the area consists of large scale and the catchments are outside the cultivated area. Water storage and purpose. The collected water is stored within the soil profile in the root zone and used for plant growth. When such systems are applied over a wide area, then there may be significant groundwater recharge. So, the individual farmer can develop a small area, and multiplication of such schemes or the such system will lead to significant groundwater recharge. Most common technologies used are planting pits, micro basins, cross slope barriers, etc. And these cross slope barriers include vegetative barriers, strips, tide ridges, contour bunds, ridges, stone bunds, contour bench terraces, etc. And the micro basins include nagarium, muscat, triangular V-shaped bunds, semicircular bunds, eyebrow terraces, Valerian type basins. These are different technologies used for micro water harvesting. Micro water harvesting is suitable for semi-arid to arid areas with high rainfall variability within season. So this is suitable for semi-arid and arid areas. They can be constructed on almost any slope, including nearly level plains where there is overland flow to capture. So these structures can be constructed on any amount of slope, or it may be flat areas also. Soil needs to be deep enough to construct holes, pits and store the collected water. So the aquifer or the soil to hold the water should be deep enough, and they should have they should be able to construct the holes pits and to store the collected water in that area. Soils with an inclination to sealing and crusting are particularly suitable for including runoff in the catchment area. Furthermore, micro water harvesting can be applied on highly degraded soils where it can be used in the productive rehabilitation processes, reducing erosion and flooding. Micro harvesting can be applied already the degraded soils and where it can be used for the productive rehabilitation processes. So they can be restored for the agriculture purposes, reducing the erosion and flooding. Negarium microcatchments. Negarium microcatchments are diamond-shaped basins surrounded by small earth bunds with an infiltration pit in the lowest corner of each. The Negarium microcatchment consists of a diamond-shaped bunds in the basin area to collect the water, and there is a pit at the end or that lowest corner of that diamond shape to allow for the infiltration. Runoff is collected from within the basin and stored in the infiltration pit. Microcatchments are mainly used for growing trees and bushes. This technique is appropriate for small scale tree planting in any area which has moisture deficit. So this method is used for growing the trees. Besides harvesting water for the trees, it simultaneously conserves the soil. So it reduces the erosion also, hence the conserves the soil. Negarium microcatchments are neat and precise and relatively easy to construct. So here you have the Negarium catchment where it is diamond shaped, and these are the bunds. Water gets collected in between these bunds in that basin area, and these are the holes where the water is being infiltrated. Although the first reports of such micro catchments are from southern Tunisia, the techniques has been developed in the Negev deserts of Israel. The word Negarium is derived from the Hebrew word of runoff Neger. Negarium microcatchments are the most well-known form of or water harvesting systems. Israel has the most widespread and best developed Negarium microcatchments, mostly located on research farms in the Negev district, where rainfall is as low as 100 to 150 mm per annum. So, in the Negarium district of the Israel, this system has been adopted where there is a scanty rainfall of just 100 to 150 mm annual rainfall. However, the technique and variations of it is widely used other semi-arid and arid areas, especially in North and Sub-Saharan Africa, because it is a well-proven technique. It is often one of the first to be tested by new projects. So this Negarium system is a well-tested and a successful scheme, hence it has been adopted in Sub-Saharan African areas also. Contour bunds for trees. Contour bunds for trees are a simplified form of microcatchments. Constructions can be mechanized, and the technique is therefore suitable for implementation on a large scale. So, since this construction method of contour bunds involves the mechanization, it can be used for on a large scale basis. As its name indicates, the bunds follow the contour at close spacing, and by provision of small earth ties, the system is divided into individual micro catchments. So the bunds are constructed along the contours, and there are in between some ties to separate the individual micro catchment. Whether mechanized or not, the system is more economical than Negarium micro catchment, particularly for large scale implementation on even land since earth has to be moved. So this is the picture of the contour bund. You can see these are the different contours, and bund is constructed along the contours, and there are in between some ties are made to separate these micro catchments, and the trees are planted in this area. A second advantage of contour bunds is their suitability to the cultivation of crops or fodder between the bunds. So sometimes you can grow the or cultivate the area in between the bunds also. As with other forms of microcatchment water harvesting techniques, the yield of the runoff is high, and when designed correctly, there is no loss of runoff out of the system. So this is a system where the runoff can be restricted and losses to runoff can be restricted. Semicircular bunds. Semicircular bunds are the earth embankments in the shape of a semicircle with the tips of the bunds on the contour. Semicircular bunds of varying dimensions are used mainly for rangeland rehabilitation or fodder production. So semicircular bunds, they differ in their dimensions and are used mainly for the rehabilitation of the grazing lands as well as for fodder production. The technique is also useful for growing trees, shrubs, and in some cases has been used for growing crops. Depending on the location and the chosen catchment, cultivated area ratio, it may be a short slope or long slope catchment technique. So depending on the location and depending on the cultivated area ratio to the catchment, it may be defined as a short slope or a long slope catchment technique. Semicircular bunds are recommended as a quick and easy method of improving rangelands in semi-arid areas. So basically they are used for improving the rangeland, that means the grazing lands, and also for the purpose of the fodder production. Semicircular bunds are more efficient in terms of impounded area to bund volume than other equivalent structures such as trapezoidal bunds, for example. Surprisingly, this technique has never been used traditionally. The semicircular bunds occupy a lesser space compared to the other structures like trapezoidal bunds, where the bund lengths or the volume involved are more, but in this case the volume involved is less, but somehow this technique has never been used traditionally. Contour ridge. Contour ridges for crops. Contour ridges, sometimes called contour furrows or micro watersheds, are used for crop production. So these are contour ridges are sometimes also called as the contour furrows, because furrows are developed along the contour along with the ridges, and they are also called as micro watersheds and used for the crop production. This is again a micro catchment technique. Ridges follow the contour at a spacing of usually 1 to 2 meters. So the contour difference is 1 to 2 meter, and the ridges are constructed along these contours. Runoff is collected from the uncultivated strip between ridges and stored in a furrow just above the ridges. A furrow is formed above the ridges and the runoff is collected between the two contours. Crops are planted on both sides of the furrow. So crops are planted on both sides of the furrow. The system is simple to construct by hand or by machine and can even be less labor intensive than the conventional tilling of a plot. The yield of runoff from the very short catchment length is extremely efficient, and when designed and constructed correctly, there should be no loss of runoff out of the system. So in this contour bunding system, the runoff is more runoff collected is more efficient because there are no losses in the system. Another advantage is an even crop growth due to the fact that each plant has approximately the same contributing catchment area. So in this method, the catchments are equal in the shape and they contribute equal water to the crop growth in that micro basin in which it is being used. So you can see here the contour ridges are developed along the contours, and the area in between two contours contributes the runoff, and the furrows are formed to collect the water, and the crop is grown between two furrows. Trapezoidal bunds. Trapezoidal bunds are used to enclose larger areas and to impound larger quantities of runoff, which is harvested from an external or long slope catchment. So trapezoidal bunds are used to impound larger quantity of the runoff, and uh, they are harvested from an external or a long slope catchment. The name is derived from the layout of the structure, which has the form of a trapezoid, a base bund connected to two side bunds or wing walls which extend unslope at an angle of usually 135 degrees. Crops are planted within the enclosed area, overflow discharge around the tips of the wing walls. The general layout consisting of a base bund connected to wing walls is a common traditional technique in parts of the Africa. You can see here how the trapezoidal bunds are constructed. So you can see the sides are connected to the other trapezoidal shape, so that in between the water is collected in between from the water enters through in between two wing walls, and it is collected in this trapezoidal shape. The concept is similar to the semicircular bund technique. In this case, three sides of a plot are enclosed by bunds, while the fourth side is left open to allow runoff to enter the field. You can see here it looks like a semicircular bund only, but it is in the trapezoidal shape, and you can see here in between two wing walls the water enters, and the excess water goes out from these ends of the wing walls. The simplicity of design and construction and the minimum maintenance required are the main advantage of this technique. This section is based on the design and layout of a trapezoidal bund implemented in Turkana district in northern Kenya. Another micro catchment water harvesting is contour stone bunds. Contour stone bunds are used to slow down and filter runoff, thereby increasing infiltration and capturing sediment. So contour stone bunds are constructed for the purpose of filtering the runoff as well as increasing the filtration. The water and sediment harvested lead directly to improved crop performance. The technique is well suited to small scale application on farmers' fields, and given an adequate supply of stones can be implemented quickly and cheaply. So this can be implemented on a small scale, and it can be constructed by an individual farmer in their fields if there is an adequate supply of the stones. Making bunds or merely lines of stones is a traditional practice in parts of Sahelian West Africa, notably in Burkina Faso. So these systems are adopted in Africa. Improved construction and alignment along the contour makes the technique considerably more effective. The great advantage of system based on stone is that there is no need for spillways where potentially damaging flows are concentrated. The filtering effect of the semi-permeable barrier along its full length gives a better spread of runoff than earth bunds. Earthen bunds are able to do. Furthermore, stone bunds require much less maintenance. You can see the photograph here. These are the stone lines which are being formed, and the water moves along the slope and it gets filtered, as well as the sediment is stored behind the stones, and since it is a very small structure, the extra water flows over the stones and there is no need of the spillway as it is done in the earthen bunds. Another technique is permeable rock dams. Permeable rock dams are a floodwater forming technique where runoff waters are spread in a valley bottoms for improved crop production. So this is a system where the flood water is being collected or stored, and it is used for the production of the crop. Developing gullies are healed at the same time. So if because of the flow, if the gullies are being formed, and because of this structure they are healed. The structure are typically long, low dam walls across valley. So the structures are typically long one, but at a low level, maybe with a height of about 2 feet. The structures are and the permeable rock dams can be considered a form of terraced body, though the latter term is normally used for structures within watercourse in a more arid areas. The similar structures which are called as terrace body are used in more semi areas, more arid areas, and they are constructed in the within the water courses. But here the permeable rocks are constructed along the valley line with a height of about 2.5 feet to store the water or to spread the water for production of the crops. You can see the structure here. So it is the height of the structure is about 0.7 meter and the base width is about 2.8 meter, and the stones are laid with 1:1 slope on the upstream side and 3:1 on downstream side, and the larger stones are packed on the face while the smaller stones are within the body. Water spreading bunds. Water spreading bunds are often applied in situations where trapezoidal bunds are not suitable, usually where runoff discharges are high and would damage trapezoidal bunds, or where the crops are to be grown are susceptible to the temporary waterlogging. So which is a characteristics of trapezoidal bunds. The major characteristics of water spreading bunds is that, as the name implies, they are intended to spread water and not to impound it. So the water spreading bunds, they function as to spread the water and not to impound the water or not to store the water, because when there is a runoff is more, the flood flow will be high. Hence the trapezoidal bunds are not suitable in such cases because they may get damaged. So in such cases the structures to spread the floods are provided and they are called as water spreading bunds. They are usually used to spread flood water which has either been diverted from a watercourse or has naturally spilled onto the floodplain. So these are constructed to spread the flood water. Either they can be diverted from the watercourse or they can be spilled from the watercourse onto the floodplain. The bunds, which are usually made of earth, slow down the flow of the flood water and spread it over the land to be cultivated, thus allowing it to infiltrate. Main characteristics, benefits, disadvantages, and resilience to climate variability. Main benefits are increased water availability, reduced risk of production failure, enhanced crop, fodder and tree production, and improved water use efficiency. The main benefits of the microcatchment water harvesting are increased water availability, reduced risk of production, reduce risk of production failure, enhanced crop, fodder and tree production, and improved water use efficiency. Simple to design and control and cheap to install by individual farmers, therefore easily replicable. Higher runoff collection efficiency than medium or large scale water harvesting systems, negligible conveyances losses. So in microcatchment rainwater harvesting systems, the collection efficiency is more than the medium or large scale water harvesting systems, and there is negligible conveyances losses because water is not carried for a long length. Erosion control and trapping of nutrients rich elements in runoff. So it controls the erosion as well as traps the nutrients to not to flow away from the catchment, and the sediment is also deposited from the runoffs. The area to be prepared for planting as well as fertilizer inputs are reduced compared to conventional preparation of the entire field, while overall production is improved and the risk of failure is reduced. What are the main disadvantages? Catchment uses potentially arable land with the exception of steep slope. Catchment area has to be maintained, that is kept free of vegetation. However, crusts often develop on bare surfaces of the catchment and therefore naturally reduce weed growth. So catchments need, here the catchment area are to be maintained and they are to be free of the vegetation, because since we need the surface water to flow, that is there should be a runoff from the precipitation, that means the catchment should be free from vegetation to aid the runoff. However, crusts often develop on bare surfaces of the catchment and therefore naturally reduce weed growth. So other disadvantages are, as in all water harvesting systems, systems can be damaged during exceptionally heavy rainstorms. If maintenance is inadequate, soil erosion can occur and initial investment will be lost. Resilience to climate variability. Water harvesting in microcatchments reduces risk of production failure due to water shortage associated with rainfall variability and dry spells. Because of this, water conservation and harvesting method in the microcatchments, there is the reduced risk of the production failures because of the variability of the rainfall and dry spells, because during the intense rain the water is being collected or made to infiltrate in the soil mass, so that the crop production failure risks are reduced. It accumulates and concentrates water and enables crop growth in areas where rainfall is normally not sufficient or unreliable. So the system, microcatchment harvesting system, accumulates and concentrates the water, and which enables the crop growth in the areas where rainfall is not sufficient and it is unreliable. Although runoff farming methods can increase the water availability, climatic risks still exist, and in years with extremely low rainfall, it cannot compensate for overall water shortages. So, sometimes in externalities, that is the very low rainfall in very low rainfall years, it cannot compensate for overall water shortages, and this climatic risks still exist in such years. Thank you.